And from our perspective, this was an unnecessary delay in allowing to Albertans to have a discussion about this very important issue.
That delay is in the form of a hearing underway in the Court of King's Bench this week to determine if his client's proposed referendum question violates the Constitution.
The Alberta independence movement just hit a major court problem. But here's the plot twist that nobody saw coming. This problem is actually waking people up. For the first time in years, Albertans are seeing exactly how far the establishment will go to keep them from having a simple vote. And instead of scaring people off, it's actually firing them up. When the Alberta Prosperity Project walked into that courtroom yesterday, they didn't just show up. They planted a flag. They made it nearly impossible at this point for anyone to ignore the fact that hundreds of thousands of Albertans want a real say in their future. And the moment the left tried to shut that down, it backfired badly. Suddenly, people who've never attended a rally or a town hall, never thought about independence, they're all now paying attention. They're asking questions. They're getting involved. And that's the first win right there. This court thing didn't weaken the movement. It actually expanded it.
A proposed referendum question on whether Alberta should leave Canada is now before the court. The judge tasked with determining whether the question violates the Constitution. Amanda Anderson reports.
Have a courtroom filled with over 20 lawyers, and everybody is arguing over what the meaning of the word proposal means and what the word contravene means.
He represents Mitch Sylvester with the Alberta Prosperity Project, who in July put forward the question, do you agree that the province of Alberta shall become a sovereign country and cease to be a province in Canada? There are several interveners arguing the issue, including Counsel for Elections Alberta. It was the Chief Electoral Officer who referred the question to the courts. According to Alberta Citizen Initiative Act, proposed referendum questions must respect sections 1 through 35.1 of the Constitution Act. Rath has yet to argue his client's side. Forever Canadian, a group that formed in opposition, says it's collected more than 450,000 signatures on the question of whether Alberta should stay in Canada. That citizen-led petition is in the process of being verified by Elections Alberta.
And here's another positive angle in all of this. The left has accidentally admitted through their own actions that Alberta could leave. In fact, think about it. If independence was so impossible, like they always say, why are they fighting so hard to stop a mere vote? Why are lawyers, politicians, activists on the left throwing everything they can and everything they have at blocking a simple referendum? Because deep down they know Alberta has leverage, economic, constitutional, and a lot of popular support for independence at this time. The CBC story that I read the other day even reveals that these questions might all end up in court, which means that they're legitimate questions and what they're trying to do is stall. When a question is legitimate, the vote is inevitable. That's the real fear in Ottawa at this time. And you can feel the panic. The more they try to shut Albertans up, the more they're proving the movement's point. Albertans' future should be decided here in Alberta, not in Ottawa. This court case isn't a setback. It's a confirmation that Alberta's on the right track and the establishment knows it.
We just want to get on with gathering signatures and having a referendum on independence.
Several lawyers representing different First Nations were also granted last-minute intervener status and will have until the beginning of December to submit their positions. Rath says a decision is expected before Christmas and doesn't expect the late submissions to impact that timeline.
It's not legally binding, on the rest of the country. It doesn't automatically affect separation. It leads to the government of Alberta being able to seek those amendments with the rest of the partners in Confederation. But it doesn't immediately cause anything to happen.
If the Alberta Prosperity Project's question is approved, the group would have 4 months to collect 177,000 signatures to get the question to ballot. The hearing continues on Thursday.
The Alberta Prosperity Project will have to wait a little longer before it can start gathering signatures from supporters. A judge has ruled a review of the separatist group's potential referendum question can go ahead. Hannah Lapine is in this morning. Hannah, what's the latest?
Well, Jefferson King's Bench Justice Colin Feasby ruled a constitutional review will benefit democracy and must happen first. The Alberta Prosperity Project wants to ask Albertans whether they want to leave Canada and become a sovereign nation. Alberta's chief electoral officer thought simply asking that question might violate Canada's constitution, including treaty rights of First Nations. Last month, Gordon McClure referred the question to a judge to make that assessment.
This whole hearing process seems to be asking the question, is asking a question to amend the Constitution in and of itself unconstitutional, which is, to me, a pretty remarkable position.
A judicial review into a proposed Alberta referendum question on separation begins today. A group called the Alberta Prosperity Project wants to ask the question, do you agree the province of Alberta shall become a sovereign country and cease to be a province in Canada? In the summer, Alberta's chief electoral officer referred the question to the court to determine if it violates the Constitution, including treaty rights. The Premier and Justice Minister both criticizing that decision to refer the question to court. If the proposed question is approved, the group will need to collect 177,000 signatures in 4 months to get it on a ballot.
And here's the most promising part of it all. The court battle is creating the exact condition every independence movement dreams of. Unity, passion, and momentum, all at the exact same time. People who used to disagree are now standing shoulder to shoulder, saying, why are we not allowed to vote? If the system is trying so hard to keep us from voting, there must be something worth voting for. And that's the promising future right there. This court thing isn't just about clarifying the rules. It's about exposing who really supports democracy and who only supports it when it benefits them. So even if the left thought that they were stalling the movement, what they've actually done is give it more fuel than ever. And now the question isn't, will Albertans ever get a vote? The question is, who's going to stop them? Because as I've said before on this channel, independence begins when Albertans decide.
Thank you for watching. If you support these videos, subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss an update from PJ. Special thanks to each and every channel member for your support and for making these reports possible. I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.